nothing changes.
Hey guys, welcome back to another Clash Royale video. This is Rami from Raw Gaming, and in today's video I'm going to show you some replays and I will talk about this deck. This deck, of course everyone knows about it, but the thing is I'm going to break it down for you guys so you know how to play it and you know how to manage your elixir inside of the beatdown deck. Now of course, you know, beatdown deck is all about managing all your elixir and then forming this huge push, going into your opponent and take that win. But with this deck is different. So how this deck works is all about your opponent's move. So you will rely on what your opponent is going to play and then you will form that push accordingly. What I mean by that, for instance, well, this is why I want to show you replays there rather than going into live battles. Well, of course, in here I only had my giant. Now when you have a beatdown deck, always you start out with your giant and then you start forming that push and then go into taking that tower. Now of course, you know guys, because we are not using a pump inside of this deck, so what we're going to do, well, the only play that I had actually to do right here, it was to drop my giant. Otherwise I wouldn't open up with my giant. I wouldn't go like, you know, start off with my giant. I'll just wait for one push from my opponent and then I will work according to what he play, and then I will go for a push and then we will go for that tower. So this is what makes this deck actually very good. Now okay, so I'll break it down to you. Now we have every counter possible inside of the deck. True. So we have, let's say we have the mega minion, we have the arrows, and we have the musketeer. That's in case you have an air attack. So if you have a lava hound coming over at you, so you will have the mega minion to help you out, you have the musketeer and the arrows in there. So this is going to break it down into how to defend air attacks. So if you have like any ground attacks coming over at you, so then you have the musketeer, you have the bowler, and you have the tombstone. Now the tombstone is very important part inside of the game, because the tombstone is rather defense as well as an offense as well. So because when you have that push going over at your opponent, the skeletons at the back is going to distract a lot of other troops. Like if he's going to drop a musketeer, if he's going to drop a mini P.E.K.K.A, or if he's going to drop like a mega minion in there, then you will have the upper hand, because technically the skeletons in there are going to distract absolutely everything. And on top of that, if you have like a fast deck coming over at you, you could use the tombstone as a defense for hooks, for instance. So it will help you out inside of the game. Now of course we did watch the first replay. I didn't talk about how I'm playing this deck yet, so in the next replay I'm going to break it out for you guys so you know exactly what I'm talking about and how to manage your elixir, especially for 3.9 elixir. That's an expensive deck without a pump. So what we're going to do here, we are going to go into another replay, and I'm going to break it down to you, and hopefully you guys get the idea on how to play it. And once you are in the arena, then you will start understanding more on how to get things done inside of the deck itself. So okay, so starting hand, I've got my giant, I've got my bowler, and I've got my tombstone. So here comes the hug. So the tombstone is very distractible, like that is going to distract that hug. So technically what we did, we pulled out the hug into the right side. Now guys, you know, of course you know that everyone is talking about, you know, positive elixir trade, like I said, like I always say, don't worry about the positive elixir trade. All what you need to worry about is how to do a good counter push. So good defense and good counter push, that's what is going to get your opponent actually tilted. Now of course here comes another push. Now in here I've got my giant down, but because I got the tombstone as well, he did zap the skeletons that came out of the tombstone, but by the time he actually zapped that, I had my musketeer down, and the musketeer managed to get that hook down. Now of course we're talking about elixir trade, so looking at the elixir, at the elixir part, like look at his elixir right now. Right now we are technically even in elixir trade, so I did spend much because I did drop my giant, I did drop my musketeer, I did drop my log in there. But think about it this way, damage wise, he did not cause as much damage as we did on his tower, even though that we spent a lot actually on defense and we had to spend on offense as well, but we did cause his tower to get all the way to 1939. So guys, don't worry about elixir trade. All what you need to worry about is how to get your troops right to the opponent's tower, and by the way to do that is by counter push. Okay, so here comes another horn. So dropping the tombstone in there and dropping my musketeer. Okay, so right now I have one musketeer in the arena, and then I had enough elixir to drop my giant right in front of the musketeer. And now if you notice in here, our giant actually made it to the tower, and we had enough elixir to drop the lightning spell on the tower, and we took that tower down. So guys, it's not about how you form that push. You are playing a beatdown deck, but you are not playing it as a beatdown deck. You're not forming a huge push. You're not going, okay, well, I'm going to drop my giant right behind the king tower, and then I will drop the musketeer, and then I will drop the mega minion, followed by the bowler. It it didn't work this way. So guys, like, and here I was versing Hurricane. Of course, everyone knows what who's Hurricane is. Like, he's one of the guys who always appears on TV Royale. So, and it's very important to know your opponent. And right now I know what's my opponent actually using. So he's always using like Royal Giant, like in terms of like offense wise. But guys, we are going to break it down once again. I'm going to show you how I got the wins in here. Well, usually this is a deck to give you over 80% win. So if you don't grab that 80% out of it, so technically if you are going to classic challenge or grand challenge with this deck, you will be able to get about 10 out of 12. So it depends on how you guys play. Now of course the lightning spell is going to go down on my bowler and my musketeer, which is going to go to get really good value for him. But the thing is, how we going to do a counter push? Here comes a counter push. Now we have the tombstone down, and we have the mega minion right on top of his royal giant. So he dropped the musketeer as well. Sorry. So he dropped the musketeer as well, and we took that with the same elixir trade. So we didn't actually go banana with dropping all our elixir down, even though that we took some damage on our tower, but we didn't go crazy dropping all our elixir down, because this is not how this deck works. Now I know that he has this skeleton army, that's why I dropped my bowler right in the middle of the arena, but following that giant is not going right behind that giant. So we took that skeleton army down. And now watch in here, because technically what we're going to do, we are going to cause overtime damage, and we are going to cause as much damage as we could while we are playing this beatdown deck. Now the battery is about to actually run out, but that's alright. Now in here he dropped the Royal Giant along with the Mega Minion. So I had to block that Mega Minion with my Giant in there. And right now we have the Giant down, we have the Bowler down, the Mega Minion, and the Musketeer. Guys, now here comes a push. I didn't actually do a push. All what I did was counter his push. So guys, this is how you're going to determine how your push is going to be, because what you're going to do, you are going to counter his push. So you take your opponent elixir and take that into your advantage. That's how this deck works, and this is how what makes this deck very powerful. So technically what you do right here on the left side, actually I did go for a push, but because it was like 20 minutes, like 25 seconds inside of, sorry, 25 seconds inside of the battle, so I was like, yeah, why not, I'll just go for the second tower. So guys, this is exactly how to play this deck. So I showed you 3 replays. Go back to the replays and have a look at how I did play that, and this is going to help you out, especially like in challenges. If you are into challenges, this is going to help you out, and this is going to grant you the win. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and hope you guys actually got some tips on how to use this deck. And this is gonna wrap it up for today's video, guys. If you liked it, just give it a thumb up, and I will see you guys in the next video. You be safe and have a good one. This is Rami from Royale Gaming, and I'm signing out. Peace.